my name is Menna.
My name's Joel.
And we're here to talk to you a little bit about doing TEFL abroad as a couple.
We've been in China for around a year and a half now, since last September. And this year we're in South China in Hainan province.
On a little island just off China. We've done a lot of travelling around China, which we've been really happy about. We've tried to learn a little bit of the language. We've tried a public school, which we're in now, and previously a language course. We've done a bit of both.
Yeah, a bit of both.
About. Yeah.
The first question. What would you say the best things about teaching abroad as a couple?
The best thing teaching abroad as a couple is that you don't get lonely as much as I imagine you might do if you were doing it on your own. For me personally, I know that I'd probably find it hard missing my family and stuff. So coming abroad with someone else, be it a friend or a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, I think that's definitely helped me feel more at home out here and have someone to talk to if I'm sad, all that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a huge decision, isn't it, to move abroad? Especially like if you obviously you can come abroad at any age, but typically a lot of young people, maybe straight out of university, want to travel like ourselves. So you come out of university, it's quite nice at university. You've got all your friends, you're not that far from home, and then going to another country, it can be quite intimidating. So to have someone there, especially like a partner or boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever really, it's nice to have that emotional support to get you through the early stages at least.
Finances as well.
All the money, yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's very good. I mean, I guess it's the same as being in the UK, but you usually get a living allowance, like accommodation allowance, that kind of thing here. So if you're living together with another person, then you split the rent costs in half, and you usually don't need much more space, and two people do. One person does.
Well, you split the food, you split accommodation, bills. You save a lot of money in the long term, which if, a lot of people might come abroad not just for the travelling but also to save money, because there are some good jobs out here. And so when you're living or house sharing with someone, that's going to add to how much you save every month.
We really try and save our money as much as we can.
Yeah.
My turn. What has your experience been of finding work as a couple? Have you experienced any difficulties, or has it been easy to find work in the same place with the same employer?
First year when we first came out, we hadn't had any real prior teaching experience prior to coming to China. There's only schools in certain cities which were willing to take 2 teachers. If you're on your own, it's obviously easy to go to any school, but the school has to want 2 teachers at that particular time. So it is harder to get a job in a particular school. Some couples, they might want to teach separately anyway, maybe just in the same city. But for us, we were given the option of 1 or 2 places.
Especially because we wanted to have holiday off together.
Yeah.
We wanted to make sure that any vacation days we had throughout the year, we were able to take them together. We needed to find a school that had a multitude of teachers, so that when we went off, we weren't the only teachers that were gone. So there was people that could fill in for us while we were gone, cover our classes, that kind of thing.
But in terms of finding work, we were quite limited at that particular month, July, August, September.
2 people together and picky about holidays.
So we didn't have a lot of choice, but that kind of worked out in our favour. It meant we just threw ourselves into it, just went with it, and it paid off. But maybe we didn't do too much research on where we were going, Shenyang. No. Yeah, make sure you do a bit of research on the city you're being sent to.
And if there's not a lot of information on it, that probably means that it's not got many foreigners, not got many home comforts, which is what our city was like. It was fine. For a year, it taught us to develop our characters, but I think if we'd have done more research, we would have been feeling more comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gave us some experiences and learned some skills we never thought we would, and then doing that as a couple, if I was there as an individual, I would have found it a lot tougher. Yeah,
I think companies like couples because we provide each other that kind of emotional support like we spoke about before, so we're less likely to kind of do the midnight run as they call it and go home. However, I guess some companies might be worried about maybe couples breaking up or having difficulties, which might lead to them both going home. It's a pro and con situation, but it's definitely not negative. It depends on the company. Depends on the school, depends what they want. Some schools like it. Our current school like couples. There's a few couples at our kindergarten, but it depends on the school, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, also another point is I don't think it necessarily matters if you're in the same city but you're not in the same job. Like last year, for example, we were working with the same company but we were in different schools. So we were essentially working with different companies. Yeah,
we were in different locations.
And that was absolutely fine.
Which we didn't know about, we didn't really think about. So maybe that's something you can check if you're in a couple, make sure you're in the same school, not just the same company. because they could just throw you other ends of a city. Like you could be in Beijing and one person be at one end, and the other person at the other end. So if you want to work together in the same school and follow the same kind of
make sure you're in the
days,
same building.
Yeah, make sure you maybe get it in writing or just double check that.
Just because you're at the same school doesn't mean you'll be at the same location.
Yeah, but it depends on every couple what you want.
Yeah, those are the kind of things you want to make sure that you have in writing and ask questions about beforehand. Nothing is too small a detail in China.
Indeed, yeah. Okay, question number 3. What has been the highlight of your TEFL experience so far?
Travelling. We were so lucky to do so much travelling last year. We had 3-day weekends every week.
Because it was a language school, we worked Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So language schools, they're basically after school clubs in essence.
And weekends.
So you after school Thursday, after school Friday, and then you're going on weekends, which is a bit of a shock if you're coming from a Western country like England where you normally have weekend off. But then we had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off.
And we were able to do a lot of travelling those days, get trains to places. I mean, 3 days is enough time to go and see a city.
We were in smack bang in the middle of
so
China.
We had good transport
near
links.
Wuhan, if anyone knows that. So it was excellent train links to all the big cities and airports and in loads of places you could go to in 3 days. If you want to do travelling, make sure, well, not necessarily, but try and get a 3-day. No, it's not that common. The school we were with was one of the only ones we saw.
Just make sure you've got enough holiday time to do what you want to do.
If you're in a couple and you work in the same school, try and see if you have the same days off every week. They might put you on different days off, which could interfere with travel plans.
Actually, that was something that we'd questioned them about before we went. So we were able to bring up an email and say, actually, you said this. So, like I said, nothing is too small a detail.
Get it in writing. Any specific details like that, make sure it's in writing. Don't just assume they're going to be nice and just take your word. And you can tell them, in an interview we spoke about this. They won't. Chances are they won't care. Especially if you have a Chinese boss, they'll want to see it in writing, and even then they might still be a bit iffy about it. So make sure you get it in writing. What particular highlight? What particular city or place?
My favourite city or cities to travel. It was our Shangri-La kind of Dali in the Yunnan province.
Yunnan province is in southwest China, so like bordering Vietnam. Quite
that
tropical.
Was my favourite.
Yeah,
it was really natural. We went to the Tiger Leaping Gorge, which is like for hitchhikers, not hitchhikers.
Hikers.
For hikers. It's like a really
it's very
beautiful natural place.
Really clean.
Everything around there was just really natural.
Yeah, very lovely.
That was my favourite place.
And for myself, I'd say probably Harbin, which is in northern China, so it borders like Russia. Freezing cold, like minus 20 degrees, and it's most famous for its annual ice festival, where they build huge to scale sculptures of buildings and famous places, and they light them up with colours at night, and it was amazing, wasn't it?
We were there on Chinese New Year as well, so there's a few fireworks going off randomly from random people on the street. It was a real experience.
It was really nice, Having the 3-day off a week is let's go to like the Beijing Wall, see the Terracotta Warriors, the Avatar Mountain, so loads of different places. 4th question.
Do you have any advice for other couples wanting to go abroad to teach?
Just jump into it, I'd say. If you've ever thought about travelling, but you also want to save a bit of money and maybe get a bit of experience on your CV. If you want to be a teacher in the future and back in England, it's excellent. If you don't, then hey, at least you can save some money and travel. I'd say just go for it.
Both of us, we're not. I mean, from speaking for myself, I'm not looking to be a teacher when I go back to the UK. I'm only doing this for a couple of years. I want to see the world. I want to travel. I want to gain some experience. I also wanted to learn a new language, which is why I've been trying really hard to study my Chinese. And then I just know that when I go back to the UK, I'm going to feel a bit more fulfilled and happy to get on with my life.
I'd say, like we said before, if you want to work in the same school, make sure you get it in writing. Maybe talk to each other as well about, time. How long do you want to spend abroad? That might only become apparent when you go to a particular place.
You might not know. One of you, it might be a bit of an awkward conversation, and if one of you wants to leave after the first year and one of you kind of had it in your head.
But that's kind of dependent, I guess, on when you go. Someone might enjoy it, someone might hate it. It's a very...
The person that had it in their head they might want to be there for many years might actually only want to be there for a year.
For couples, obviously, we're speaking, all of our experience is based in China. There are a lot of other countries, though, like the UAE, South Korea, Japan. If you're in a relationship, maybe... look online at the cultural kind of...
Laws.
Laws regarding couples living together and married. In China, there's not a problem. There's no problem at all with us living together. If you're unmarried in some countries, I think it can be a bit of an issue. So make sure you do research on that.
And make sure that everything you want to know with your employer, you get in writing. Ask all the questions, all the silly questions that you think that you'll be able to ask when you get there. Chances are you've got a higher chance of them saying yes to your requests before you sign the contract than after you go there. So holidays together was a main thing for us. We wanted to take all of our holidays together. So that was why we had such a narrow selection of schools, is because... we needed to find a school that had many teachers.
But definitely take the leap. It can be quite daunting at first to
take the leap.
Just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Because there's a lot of obstacles. It costs a lot of money for the visa process. It takes a lot of time. You got to move country. You're leaving your family, your friends. But after a few months, you'll get into it and you'll have a great time. And you'll probably, like a lot of people, want to stay another year, maybe even stay there for a long time. So if you want to travel and you want to save a bit of money, definitely do it. I mean, I don't know what else.
And if you've ever thought about doing it, and your partner's also thought about doing it, then you should just do it, because otherwise you're both going to regret it.
Yeah, but don't just give up. After when we first arrived in China last year, because it was a tier 3 city, so it was quite underdeveloped compared to a lot of the cities in China. We were quite there was a lot of culture shock in the sense it was completely different to anything we'd done, and it was quite intimidating. So we were really tempted to leave at one point, but if you push through it, you complete that first year, or even you might love your first year, then you can look at other jobs in China.
And now we're in a beautiful city that we love, and we're on the beach, and we've got great weather, and there's loads of foreigners around to be supportive.
Yeah.
And we got through that first year because we came together as a couple and we were able to support each other.
Exactly. And once you get that first year under your belt, there's a lot of other jobs which are open to you, and you meet new people, and there's a lot of opportunities for you. So yeah. Great.
So I think that's everything. Thank you, TEFL.org, for sending us some questions to answer. We hope we've been helpful.
Hopefully. Thank you.
So thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.